This is someone I haven't seen for many, many years. Alice Levitt. Alice, hello there, girl.
Hello there, girl.
Oh my gosh. So you're talking to us from where?
From Herndon, Virginia.
Herndon, Virginia, which is just a little bit away from DC, correct?
Just outside DC, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I mean, the last time I saw you, you were here in Burlington, and then you moved to Houston. What did you do there?
I was the dining editor and critic at Houstonia magazine, and then I decided to go freelance and travel the world. I went everywhere from Xinjiang to Norway to write about it, and I decided I wanted to be back in a food editor position, and so I came to Virginia, and now I'm at Northern Virginia Magazine.
Oh my goodness, how exciting. Well, I know you're a good writer because 12 years ago, this week, this edition of 7 Days came out, okay? And it says, Bob's Your Everything. You wrote all about my good friend Bob. That was really nice. A cover story and everything. And it was really cool that you included me in it too. Let's see, where can I get that? There I am.
Yes.
Yes. That was a great story 12 years ago. Woo.
You're dating me.
Yes. So when you were here in Burlington, you worked for 7 days. You were specifically a food writer, or not?
Well, I was mostly a food writer. My position was senior food writer, but I also wrote about whatever struck my fancy, and that included Bob, but also John Waters and numerous other drag queens, actually, who none of them can stand up to my favorites in Vermont.
Well, how exciting. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, Alice, when you were in Burlington, you also directed a musical. I remember, you directed it in Stowe. Sweetie Todd. Talk about food.
Yeah.
Is that why
my favorite meats?
Is that why you like Sweetie Todd, because of the food aspect, or just coincidence?
Well, one of my very favorite things about directing that was that our sponsor was Prohibition Pig. And so the poster for the show was a human cuts of meat chart. And then the ad for our sponsor was a pig cuts of meat chart. Best poster ever.
That was a great production too. I remember seeing that. Have you done anything else musically over the years?
I really haven't. I entertain at parties, but really my singing has just been social the last few years.
And you also were a trivia whiz too. I remember nights at Nectar's.
Brogan.
The Brogans, yes. We always cursed the Brogans because they were always the top team. Yes, that was great.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've gotten to do trivia.
Oh, well, you have a vast knowledge, and even more now with your world travels. Wow. Okay, so down in Houston, what did you like about Houston?
I loved the diversity of Houston. I got to eat everything in the world, basically, whenever I felt like it. But I found that in Virginia, I have the same thing, but I also have farms nearby. And so I can eat on farms like I did in Vermont. So it's the best of both worlds for me.
Well, as you remember, Burlington is a wonderful restaurant town, and it's gotten even better since you left. It's really amazing. I mean, there are no chain restaurants inside the city limits except for maybe a Domino's or something like that. No fast foods at all. So yeah. So you left Houston. Tell me some of the other countries you visited.
Oh gosh, well, I've been to Malaysia, Singapore, Japan and Korea just at the airport, but I'm going through Asia and Finland. I'm trying to do the map. It's hard to remember everything, but
so
name a country, and I've probably been there. My favorite country in the world is Malta.
Malta, and why is that?
Because prehistory is absolutely everywhere you go. You're walking in prehistory. Anywhere you go, there's limestone from thousands of years ago.
What was the food like in Malta? Give us some examples.
Well, the food is really interesting because of Malta's location, because Sicily is here, Tunisia is here, and Libya is here. And so Malta is surrounded by those. So you've got Italian influenced food with Middle Eastern and African spices.
What is your favorite type of food?
I'm very fond of Korean.
And
That
like that.
that tends to be one of my favorites. But if I can find it, I mentioned traveling to Xinjiang. I traveled to Xinjiang in China just to eat, really. And so, so if I can find Xinjiang cuisine, that's my very favorite.
So how's that different from other Chinese food?
Well, it's certainly nothing like American Chinese food. There are a lot of hand-pulled noodles, and there are lamb kebabs, and a lot of lamb pies, a lot of lamb.
A lot of lamb.
So if you aren't into lamb, you probably aren't so into Uyghur food. But you can always find noodles.
So what tell me the strangest thing you would say. I know you would eat almost anything, but what's the strangest thing you've eaten?
Well, on the Charlie and Ernie and Lisa show back in the day, I remember back in the day I ate groundhog on Groundhog Day.
A little gamey, or what did that taste
No,
like?
not at all. It's sort of like rabbit, which is mild.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little stringy, though.
Mm-hmm. How did you prepare it?
Oh, a hunter brought it in for me. I'm not sure how he prepared it. I think it was roasted.
So are you sure it was groundhog?
No.
Now,
he told me it was groundhog.
Were you ever part of the roadkill dinners here in Vermont?
No, I wasn't. I was very jealous to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they go out and get animals that were killed on the road and fix them.
Yeah, I have never gotten to experience that. But I used to keep a list of all of the animals I've eaten, and I think it's over 30.
30 animals. Wow.
30 different animals, yeah.
Have you ever eaten something you go, God, I'm not going to have that again, or I wouldn't eat that again?
My number one thing that I think of when you say that is balut. Do you know what balut is?
No.
It's fertilized duck egg. And so you bite in, and first of all, it smells like a toilet. It's a cold egg that smells like a toilet that has a duck with little feathers already on it in there. And you crunch the bones.
Why?
And yeah, don't forget all of that smells like a toilet. So
who would come up? Who would be the first person to say, "Oh, this looks good," or "Oh, I think I'll eat this"?
That's something I should eat. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you were starving, that'd be one thing, but to do it twice, oh my!
Right. So one was enough of that for me.
Where was that a delicacy?
That is in the Philippines, but actually, I ate it in Vermont.
And where was that?
That was a pop-up coming through a woman who was cooking in all 50 states doing Filipino kamayan dinners. What? And I actually ran into her again in Houston. Oh. But luckily, I didn't have to eat any balut when I saw her that time.
So, Alice, one of the things you did when you were here in Burlington was we did the Smackdown contest.
Start Smackdown.
Yes, it was this big dessert contest, and I was one of the judges. And I think we have a picture from that year.
Yes. Yay! There's Fat Alice.
Yes. Well, no, I was looking at your Cookie Monster skirt there. Yeah, that was a great night. There was 15 different chefs making their desserts, and I got to go around and taste them and declare winners. And that always like to judge, you know.
You were the most fun judge that night.
Well, I try to be, and there was alcohol involved. So
yes, there was.
That helps. All right. So if you eat groundhog on Groundhog Day, will spring never come? Ooh.
I think I might have been the one to cause coronavirus.
Okay, good. Do that. Come on, girl. Fess up. That's it? You're going to leave us with that?
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying if I ate the groundhog and spring never came, it sounds like maybe it's spring did never come. It's true.
That's almost, yes. Mm. All right, Alice, well, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Now go back to the green room and we'll bring you back for the quiz. Good to see you, girl.
Uh-oh, I've got to prove myself.
Oh, you'll like it. You'll like the quiz. All right, thank you.